In this video, we're going to focus on how we can maximize the space of our chart area. So right now you can see we have a different type of shape, and this is specifically done to maximize and to reduce all the white space at the top, the bottom, the left and right. So let's start to explore how to do this. So let's look how we can remove the white space from a speedometer chart in Chart.js. So to do this, we're going to create a very basic pie chart or donut chart where we cut it in half. So we're going to make this first. So the first thing that we need to go is we're going to go to chartjs.com, getting started, scroll down here, and this link, by the way, is also in the description box. Just copy this entire chunk of code, and then if you want to understand what this code does, make sure you watch this video here. And what I will do is I'll just put it in there, and once I put it in there, I will just remove that title from there and put that in here. Save, refresh. Alright, so now we have a bar chart. Let's convert this into a pie chart or donut chart to be specific. So we're going to scroll down here, we're going to look for the type. We'll say here donut. And then what I want to do is I want to remove the scale here. Save this, refresh. Alright, so now we have a donut chart. To create a speedometer chart, we need to have the half of it. So let's do that one now. Or at least first of all, let's reduce the size of it. We're going to say here 500 pixels. Save, refresh, there you are. And now let's do the half of that one. So what I'm going to do here is, in here, I'm going to say here the following. I'm going to use here the command circumference. And we say this will be 180, meaning a half circle. So if I refresh here now, it becomes this. But as you can see here, we need to rotate this one. So let's rotate this as well. And then we're going to say here rotation. And the rotation will be, you can see it starts here, but in a canvas, the default 0%, basically we are talking about degrees. We're going to rotate in how many degrees. And the degrees here, this here is the 0 degrees, this is 90, this is 170, and this is 270. And basically what I want to do is I want to convert this one, make this a 75%, which would mean a 270 degree movement to here. So this should be basically from here, making an arc. So how we do that? We're going to say here 270 in rotation. If I refresh it, there we are. If I do here, for example, 90, you'll see here it now switches every time with 25%. If I do 180, starts here. Alright, so now 270 here. Save that, refresh. There we are. So now what we need to do is to remove the space here, because what happened now is we have a different shape. Instead of a square, we basically have a rectangle. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change this. And there's basically two options that we can do. First of all, we can say here aspect ratio, which I highly recommend to use. Aspect ratio of 2, meaning it will become now a rectangle shape here. We can make it even smaller by 3. What does this truly mean is basically for every 2 pixels in width, we will have 1 pixel. So the moment we make this more narrow, you can see here it becomes smaller and smaller. Of course, this is not what we want. So let's put this back on 2. So this is one of the options, but maybe you say, well, I would like to have more space here. So, or at least maximize this space as well. Well, in that case, we can do the following. We're going to say here, maintain aspect ratio set on false. By default, it's true. And for a pie chart and donut chart, it's always set on 1 to 1. So if I save this now and refresh, then you can do it like this. Then we maximize it here. So that's basically the only difference what we have to do. You do an aspect ratio of 2, which would mean it will be equal to a bar chart, or then it will be a rectangle shape, or you do it maintain aspect false, and then it will be like this. So if you have this, and this is especially if you have the speedometer chart, maybe you have the needle and you don't want the needle, because you can see here the needle might hit the legend. So if you don't want this, you want maybe have some space between the legend and the chart. To do this, I'm going to recommend you this specific video here on how to add margin in a legend in Chart.js, where you can see here we can create a lot of space between the legend and the chart area.